Welcome back to Birmingham, Alabama, SWAC Media Day. There you see a trophy that, Coach, I'm sure that you would like to hoist and put on a trophy shelf there at Jackson State. Jackson State's head coach, Tony Hughes, with us. First of all, Coach, great to see you, great to have you here. You got a tough schedule. I mean, you open up against TCU. I mean, it doesn't get any tougher to open up a season than to travel to Texas, take on TCU, and play them on one of the major networks, Fox Sports.
Well, it is a tremendous challenge for our football team, but I would have to say that we're excited about the opportunity. I think it's a tremendous challenge for us as we build a program to gauge ourselves against one of the top programs in the country and see where we really are as a program. In a lot of ways, we want to build a program at Jackson State that mirrors what Coach Patterson has done at TCU. Tough, hardworking, work ethic, a chip on your shoulder, the little guy that nobody respects. But at the same time, I'm at a school that does have a lot of tradition in winning football, and the fan base is very excited. But it'll be an exciting opportunity for our players, our fans, to go into a venue that's one of the top teams in the country, and let's just go play football. Let's just go do what we do, and let's measure ourselves, and let's come out of there and feeling good about ourselves and moving our program forward.
Coach, you got a tough start in the season because you do take on TCU to open up the year, and then a couple of weeks later you got to take on the team that won the SWAC a year ago in Grambling. So we're going to learn something very quickly about Jackson State in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season.
And don't forget Tennessee State, the perennial power in the OVC, and last year they thought they were going to be a playoff team. Even at the end of the season, they just didn't get a bid, and we play them in Memphis, which is always a big classic game rivalry for both schools. And, you know, there'll be 50, 60,000. That's game number 2. So, you know, we do have our hands full, but at the same time, we're going to be breaking in a tremendously young football team. We'll have 40 new faces for the Jackson State Tigers that's never played a down, combination of first-time freshmen, of freshmen that redshirted last year, junior college transfers, and transfer students. All will be playing football for the first time. So you put all of that in there, it gives everything that we'll do this season a tremendous challenge. But you know what? I feel like to be the best, you got to play the best, and you got to beat the best. And so we're just going to concentrate on ourselves and believe in what we do, and put the best product on the football field that we feel like we have.
When you are coaching and you've got this young team, obviously the goal is to get to the championship game, but realism sets in as well. When you've got a team this young, is the goal still the Southwestern Athletic Conference title, or is there a win-loss mark that's acceptable to you?
Well, the first thing is that I challenged our team this year. And last year we were below average, and I won't say we were a bad team or poor team because we challenged our guys and we played hard. We lost 4 games by a touchdown or less. And I told the Jackson State fans, if you have high blood pressure medication, if you have low blood, high blood, sugar diabetes, whatever your disease, when you come and watch the Tigers play now, you better take your medication because these games are going to be tough and they're going to go down to the wire, which they did last year, but we fell on the short end of the stick. So where did we have to improve as a football team this year so that doesn't happen to us was we started in the offseason with building a team and building leadership. And we're only going to be as good as our leadership. If we have great leadership, we have a great team. If we have good leadership, we have a good team. If we have average leadership, we have an average team. Below average, we'll have below average performance. We've had tremendous leadership out of our players this offseason and this summer. And so the expectation, our kids will go into it with a great deal of confidence because of the way that we played last year, but also the way that they've worked. So we just got to play one game at a time, one play at a time, one practice at a time, and we can't get caught up into, well, week 4, week 5, we're going to play this team and that team. Hey, we got to get ready to play TCU September 2nd. And you know what? Then we play Tennessee State. Then we play Grambling. Then we play Pine Bluff. And we just take the old adage, one day at a time, one play at a time, one team at a time. And that's all we can do, and that's all we can control.
Blue beat white 41-38 in your spring game. And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State? Or is there going to be somebody in that game, in that spring game, that stood out and will gather more of the carries?
Well, when I first took the job, my personality as a football coach, first thing you do is you try to do what your players can do. All of us can reinvent football, and everybody that coaches knows football. But the game is pretty simple. And what we challenged our coaching staff this spring was, let's try not to reinvent the wheel. I know a lot of football. Our assistant coaches know a lot of football. We've won a lot of games. But what can our kids do well? And we had some kids to step up in the running back position. We wanted balance in our program to be able to run the ball and pass the ball equally well. We found a couple of playmates, Jordan Johnson, who had a tremendous season last year as a true freshman, and Terrell Kennedy, who was the MVP in the state championship game at McGill-Tulane High School 2 years ago, stepped up and had a great spring. Mm-hmm. We got some injured guys back that we lost last year. Carl Ollie at receiver. We've got 8 players returning in our offensive line. And let's use our strengths to build our football team around, and let's move forward. So hopefully that's a preview of a coming attraction, what they saw in the spring.
Well, Coach, great to have you with us. Second year at Jackson State. You know, you talked about those great players that you want to build your program around. Santoria Black has got a couple of players on your squad that I got a feeling you're going to want to try to build your program around. Let's send it over to Santoria.
All right, welcome back here to SWAC Media Day here in Birmingham, Alabama. We're here with linebacker Andre Lloyd from the Jackson State University Tigers. And Andre, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Now, Andre, it's just a couple of weeks away. You get ready to go on ahead and get ready to get on the field. What are some things that you're doing in those last 2 weeks?
Just in the weight room, working on minor tweaks on the field, working on my steps, making sure I get everything ready for camp. And, pressing the guys to get ready for camp. Also, it should be pretty hot out there.
What are you telling the new guys coming in and getting ready to play for Jackson State University?
To work hard. That's the main thing. Work hard and learn the system. If they understand the system, they can play fast, and we need them to play very fast this season.
Absolutely. Now, as a leader of this team, off the field, what are some things you're telling the guys to make sure that they manage your time well?
You have to get your rest. Working out hard, going to class, sometimes it gets kind of the days get very long. So, getting your rest, proper rest is key to getting good results.
What is it that you aspire to do when you get ready to walk across the stage at Jackson State?
I already have. I graduated this past spring, so that's the main goal, graduation. So I tell a lot of guys, I'm playing my last year with a degree in hand. Mm-hmm. So, I haven't really got nothing to lose no more. I'm giving everything I got to football, and football giving everything it got for me.
Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And then we'll have Keontre Anderson will come forward, and he is the SWAC Preseason Defensive Player of the Year. We appreciate you. And, of course, Mr. Anderson, as a Preseason Defensive Player of the Year, what are some of the aspirations and some of the expectations that you have for this year?
I just want to be more dependable for my teammates, be a better leader, be more vocal. Just be a idol to them, something they can look up to on and off the field. I want to play better than what I did last year, be a more dominant force.
What are some things that you do in order to improve your game?
Steady film. I do a little yoga, extra work in the weight room, go over the plays, call a young guy in, help him because I can't make all the plays. So me helping him will help the team.
When you look at this coaching staff, what is it like playing for this coaching staff? Because they haven't been here very long.
Oh, it's great. Coach Hughes, Coach Hendricks, Coach German, they work very hard. They push us to the limit. Special shout out to the strength and conditioning coach. We be with him 90% of the time. Working out, running, conditioning. That's where we spend most of our time coming together as a team. And Coach Hughes enforces that. we always have to be honest with ourselves and criticize ourselves before we criticize someone else.
One thing Coach Hughes did talk about is that this team is very good at policing themselves.
Yes, sir. We criticize ourselves more than anything else. You know, before even Coach Hughes get to it, we would go talk to him and have a meeting and be like, Coach, we already addressed the team. We're ready to accept our punishment or whatever. You know, it just, you had to criticize. To be a great team, you had to criticize yourself. You know, you had to watch yourself and watch your mistakes and correct those to grow.
All right, Keontre Anderson from Jackson State University, we appreciate you, and we're going to take this time out. When we come back, Arkansas Pine Bluff is coming up next. We're live at the 2017 Southwestern Athletic Conference Media Day here in Birmingham, Alabama. We'll be right back.